Good evening, folks. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners across the globe. This is Alfonso Zean Soe. And this is by Minister Dabina Johnson in UK. It's a Liberian gospel artist. See you that way. We say happy Thai Mother's Day in advance to all of our mothers, sisters, and all of those good people out there. This is the Liberian Public Radio, and this is LPR-TV special. I'm Alfonso Zean Soe right here this evening. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing this beautiful Sunday evening with us. A lot is unfolding, so no time to keep waiting. Abraham Conant, we say good evening. James Benson, 5 Country Collie. My goodness, I got to drink about 2.5 liters of a whole gallon, perhaps. Rachel Bala is in the hall. Good evening to welcome. Aaron Poplet. Leonora Francis, and my man Prosper is here. Good evening and happy Sunday. Mohammed Sharif, May Koto Blessing, Fred Daniel, and the list go on. Joe, we say good evening and welcome to the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. This is a network. We say a happy, happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers across the globe, and those committed mothers that we have right here on this network. Rain, shine, snow, whatever weather it is, you are always here. We say we want to welcome you this evening. Time of Zean Soe of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Very shortly, the analysts are going to be joining me here, and we're going to have a conversation. This is LPR-TV special right here, coming to you live from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. That's the executive mentioned. A lot of conversations is expected to have here this evening, and of course, as usual, you will be part of the talking point as well. The clock is eating, decision making. Fascinating tweet coming from some major players, which is a clear indication they are trying to seal up the deal, but lots still to go. We want to welcome you, organizers and friends of the group calling itself Friends of Councilor Zean Soe Gonglo. Will be hosting the big dinner banquet in Philadelphia, May 13, 2023. Arrangement in the making to Liberia Public Radio will be there or might be there as soon we conclude those arrangement to bring you those live happenings right there from Philly, where Councilor Zean Gonglo is not giving up. Also, a group of Liberians, Seekan Community USA. Seekan Community USA is a group of Liberians from the Sindo corridor, from the southeastern side. They will be having a second annual convention starting of the 8th of June to the 11th. Liberia Public Radio. A community, your friendly network, always there. Goodbye to make you to make your story, your narrative hard. We will be there as well, the lover boy, and who knows, the guy himself going to be there. I'm going to be bringing that as the second annual convention of a group calling itself Seekan Community USA. We'll be hosting a second annual convention. More information will be coming out here. We're going to be hosting them here as well. What is all behind here? We want to say welcome to this program. Be the first to know. Rodat, Newvet, good evening. Nelly, good evening. Jacob, and all of you great people. We want to welcome you into this broadcast. And very shortly, the analyst is going to be joining us here. Welcome to the show. Good evening, good evening. This is the sound that introduces the Liberia Public Radio when we are about to take the airwaves. Thank you so much. Happy Sunday. And we say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers on planet Earth, and especially to our committed mothers and sisters right here, always on this network. Without you, we will not be here. And so we always want to make sure to have to make you to know what we are doing and to recognize your commitment to this network. Some of you in Liberia, other parts of the world, you could be doing your work, you could be attending to family business, but there's a reason for which you find yourself here, and that we honestly and sincerely value. On behalf of the management and staff of the Liberia Public Radio in the USA, in Liberia, and other parts of the country, or the world, where we have our correspondents at La Côte d'Ivoire, we say thank you for your commitment to this network. It cannot be overemphasized. And so we are here, it's because of you, and a lot is ongoing. There's no way that we can allow this to go in having this conversation. That's the executive mentioned, the official residence of the presidency of the Republic of Liberia. If you are elected president of the Republic of Liberia, you have the keys to this beautiful building. And that's where people wants to go. How are they going there? What is the conversation? Let's see here. Let's see here. And you see, it's telling us if it is to go ahead as planned, 156 days. It is important, extremely important, that we keep you and we have you reminded. Not that you don't know, not that you don't love your country, but everybody get their area. And so as we come here, we need to push that line. That will allow us to keep focus on the issues ahead, the conversation, the talking point, and how we should hold our politicians accountable, because they're going to be the deciding factors for the rest of the 6-9 years. This year is very, very, very much important, consequential. Not just under the presidency, but we want to be electing the first branch of government as well. All the wabba, that's where it comes from. Those are the people who always sign these concessions. Whether they review it, they look at it, is in the interest of their constituents or people they represent? Well, that's a different question. I was told by someone today, I don't know, I have to validate that information. Mosorado County, I believe, district number 17, I believe I was either the second, but there are about 54 or 56 candidates contesting for the representative of district number 17 in Mosorado County. I'm like, really? 57 experience? So we're in this thing here. I think I better dash the microphone and go inside Grand there as well. Something is inside. They profess they want to do it for our people. They want to do it for the love of the country. And they have all right to contest. But are we having the opportunity to dialogue with them as to how they arrive at this decision? What prompted this decision? What has been done differently that they, if they get that we can trust in? How many times that we have not heard this from politicians? I will fight for you. We will fight for you. But I've said this repeatedly over and over. I have, by the grace of God, the strength is there. I can fight for myself. I can talk for myself. I can define myself. And that's what we want to encourage and empower people to do. Do not allow people to talk for you. When you have the ability, when you have the capacity, when you know the right from wrong, when you should ask a question. They're not going to tell you all. They're going to tell you what you want to hear. That's what they're going to tell you. Interestingly, on this network, for the most part, we tell people what they need to know, not necessarily what they want to hear. And that's what people don't like. But you have all right to disagree with our talking point. You have all right to call us who you want to call us in your opinions and view. Be it the opposition, be it the ruling establishment, be it no opposition, or be whoever. You have the right. All we require from time to time and from all indications, none of such has been violated. The civility on this network is just amazing from the onset. And that's the ground rule we set from the beginning. Just how you face your bed in your house, when you turn the mattress outside down and go, and you alone there, you admit it the same way. And that's how you're going to lay down when you come 12 o'clock from work or whatever. So just how you fix your bed, that's how you're going to lie on it. And that's what we want to encourage people to do. We challenge you to question our talking point, our authenticity. But all we request, it must be done in a civil context. That's the channel the civilized society setup. That's what they call it, the conference. We sit around the table, we dialogue. You make your point, you argument your ideas and see whether it can beat terrorists or any other person. We don't curse. You don't abuse. People with limited mind, fish brain, no talking point, no strategy, no idea, but they are just a followers. So all the result to is to pollute the conversation. And then everybody goes helter-skelter. And at the end of the day, Mama Liberia suffers it. And I will blame the politician because we have to create and structure them and put them in our glass model. That's what they want us to do. 156 days. What is the policies of these people? What they represent? Who are they? Is it because somebody wants to be a president or somebody wants to go in the Oval Office? What is the beauty? So many, the advantages and disadvantages. But for the most part, the advantages, they're going to be flying. They're going to be sitting with world leaders. In less than a month, week, their lifestyle will change. Telephone numbers, phone numbers that have never called in history since their birthhood. Those phone numbers are going to be coming in. World leaders are going to be meeting them. And not to mention, business tycoon will come in. As one group leaves, another group comes, they upgrade their system. Who doesn't want to be connected? I myself here want to be connected, of course. Nobody wants to suffer. But it should be an honor, a distinct honor to serve your country. How many of us, how many of them has realized that? And what is our own responsibility as well to the country? Or are they just going to grab from the country? What are they giving back to the country? By this time, the media industry, especially in Liberia, those that are privileged to meet these politicians on a daily basis, thought they could be organizing something, maybe in collaboration with other news outlets, and call these people to have a national conversation with them. Why you want to be a chief occupant of this building? What do you have to offer us? Is President George, we are doing the ugly thing? Okay, yes. Are there bad policies? Certainly. How do you intend to change it? What would be some of the tough decisions you're going to be making? If we entrust you with national power to be the chief occupant of this building, what can you tell us? What is the negotiation style? What are your priorities? Not put out of dossiers of stuff there that you know you cannot complete. But the crowd us with these, their talking point to the extent that some of you get confused. Oh yeah, he will do this, he will do that. No, let's do it systematically and take into consideration time. We're going to be priority number 1, priority number 2, number 3. How you intend to achieve that? Are you working towards it now? Or are you waiting to be elected as president, then you start it? Will you be a president who will extend your working relationship with those that even disagree with you, regardless of their political views and opinion? Do you have that tolerance to make that accommodation? Are you going in this office because you are Liberty partisan, you are CP/ANC or whatever? Or are you going there because you're a Unity Party and you're being a Unity partisan since the creations of Unity Party? So it is your entitlement. You and only you should be to serve the country. Why? They must sound silly. But these are genuine questions. What? They are coming in, the analysts. Some took position. Some still observing. And they're hinking like a hinking garden. That's why when they come here too, we kind of hold them of their words. Because they are making some persuasive argument why you should vote for X, Y, Z. And so they and we must be held accountable as well. Don't just let us say it and you go with it. Verify and validate what we are saying. And if we put out the wrong information, we must come out here to say, well, we didn't do our due diligence. This is why. no one should be left behind in the national conversations of the Liberia. And that's why when you call here, you write your comment, okay, that's fine. We can review you. But when you call here and you say something, you will be held accountable. I am Alfonso Zean Soe. Let me bring in Mr. Jones Malley. I don't know, he's still undecided or what he waiting for. Is he waiting for Benedict Cummings to make an announcement or Tiawan Gonglo? I don't know who he's waiting for. It's kind of like, they're like this. Chameleon, one day, you're liberal. One day he will this other side, another day his tone, his language look different. Good evening. We want to say welcome. I'm Alfonso Zean Soe, your chief presenter, 10 Angot, right here on the Liberia Public Radio, LPR-TV special, right here. This beautiful Sunday, we say happy Mother's Day in advance. Let me go right here and bring in Miles Jones. He is our senior contributor of the Liberia Public Radio. Are you going to the fundraiser so quick in Philadelphia or what?
Although I'm at work today and I might be off and on.
Okay, understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your commitment to this network. And we're going to open the line.
Yeah.
Okay, so you like the black color? Who are we? You like this black, or let's turn it to some kind of dangerful color, right? You borrow, man?
Which one?
No, you make it. The boy is in your call. You just suggest here today. Let's go red and see. If you don't know,
let's try red and see.
Aaron gonna get mad with me. How do I have to go with red? Anyway, let's stay there. Yeah, Barrow. I remember Barrow those days when the big game. Oh, well, they good flower SKD complete. They were all of them. They will carry off.
I'm telling you, the
replanting of flowers. Okay, it's a Chroma. Good evening. Welcome. Okay, look, Mr. Ty Jones. I had one top insider who were exchanging. I was curious. Send a message. There's a way that you can fish in these people to get from them.
Mm-hmm.
And from the message, and then I saw the tweet. I believe you saw that. You saw that as well.
Yep.
From Senator Nyombli Kanga Lawrence, who happens to be the center of gravity right now. He appears lengthy conversation and potentially they could be wrapping up now. But her tweet here was quite interesting. Okay. I know you read it, but let's go it for the sake of our audience. As leader, we are open to talking with everyone in public and or privately, as we have always done, and under prevailing circumstances, our decisions will be guided by our principles in the best interests of our country. We will speak soon. Communication present. There are a lot of things this lady is saying. And she speaks like a real and right, like a real politician. It left for you now to perform a surgical operation and put it into context, some of the words, things that she's using. She didn't say I, say we, carrying out consultation with her ally or other people that are going to be supporting. Is it fair to come to a conclusion right now? The ANC, Alexander Benedict Cummings, to some level, they have managed to get hold of Nyombli Kanga Lawrence. She say, as leader, we are open privately and publicly to speak with people. You as a guy, communication expert as well, when a politician speaks in this context, and hearing all of the talking drum, talking studio that are going around, and just give a tweet. No talking to press for now. Carrying on consultative conversation. And I'm quite sure some political backing is being done. And I know Abraham Darrell Dillon, Senator Darrell Dillon, will never be left out of the show here. So let me bring you here quickly here. what you make of this Nyomli Kanga Lawrence tweet?
Well, I read a tweet and I also read Facon proclamation about some disclosure or some secret somewhere involving the C. Yomli Kanga again. I don't know whether you read that.
Who? Fagon?
Yes.
Carry on.
Well, Facon's there are a lot of contradiction in what he already saying on his platform. But the whole thing boiled down to Helen Johnson Sirleaf having a secret meeting with Yomli and impressing on her to go as vice president, and she insisting that Berete would need to grab arms, and there's a need for the peace talk, and a whole lot of long story he was trying to structure there. But back to Yomli. I read Yomli says press release, and as a communication expert in my own capacity, there are two things I've gathered from Yomli presentation. First, she's trying to sell a commodity. She's trying to sell a political commodity. And the commodity she's selling, she's not selling it to a particular buyer. But she's making the commodity to look marketable. She's making the commodity to look appealing. So it left with the buyers to now digest and review this commodity. This is where Yomli is coming from. And my conclusion here, I see that Yomli will be happy if she named as a vice president in inner quarter. And she's not going there because she's vice president, but she wants to prove to Joseph Barker that she has substance. I think that's where Yomli is coming from. That she has substance. And from my own assessment, I have got to realize that the seditions are more worried about Yomli as a woman coming into the race who may be able to jam the women population and create a scramble ground in Nima County as well as in Bong County as well as the southeastern counties. So Yomli is a force to reckon with. Even though we said that Yomli is heading the Liberty Party wing, but I can tell you, if Berete goes to Grand Bassa County today and try to have a rally, you will be chased out of that place, from my own assessment. Yomli is firmly grounded in that territory. Yes. So I think there's a behind closed door dialogue that first of all she got to accept Berete, and Berete got to make a confession that indeed you are the flag bearer of this party, but the issue of the Supreme Court decision that was passed, we all should put it one side and focus on Liberia. There where the Facon assessment came in. But the Facon assessment, I see a lot of contradiction in there as compared to the Yomli presentation. Yomli is speaking from her heart. And she is selling a commodity. And whosoever go in for that commodity will be going in for Yomli. But as to which market she want to redirect this commodity, there where my little confusion coming in, and I try to do my own research. But I'm sure the commodity is leaning toward the ANC territory.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, she is from being the underdog She has elevated her political style, and this is why she's going quiet, and this is why she's just only when she's throw a tweet, and then she goes out. We will speak soon. So, but from all indications, Musa Belete and the other wing of the Liberty Party, they are also to realize the need to consolidate their effort. In order for CPP ANC to be viable, to even think about the presidency, I don't know whether we should provide free consultancy here. Those people, they don't give anything. They don't something. They have
no, not at all. But moderator,
we do this for the good of the country. Because at the end of the day, when it screw up, we all feel the pain down the road.
Yes, but here is a concluding point. From my own assessment today, I realize that the ANC is in a predicament right now. There's a confusion in the ANC camp because the issue of the vice president is becoming to be so crucial to the point where who to pick now is a problem. And ANC, they're having consultative meeting almost an hour long. So the issue of the presidential candidate is a problem with the ANC right now. But I see them going in the direction of a lady because a very strategic right now. Getting a lady in now to challenge the status quo of the CDC vice president is something that even worrying the sedition. So if Kumi happens to take a gentleman as a vice president, sedition will be very happy.
Look, from the 1 or 2 messages exchanged with this top insider, actually it's an executive, a decision maker. I don't like to get information from just people who would say and they say, oh, I'm speaking for myself. I'm talking about people inside. For all indication, they are almost to the point. But there are other attachments that they are working on still inconclusive when it comes, not necessarily. Belete and the other folks, they have come to realize. Initially, some segments of the Liberty Party of the Belete fans, they were trying to push the Belete agenda. But it wasn't working. And I strongly believe the actions of ANC, CPP, to hold back with this nomination, they were waiting to see the actions of the Liberty Party. They were like kind of caught up there and trying to see exactly which direction they're going to go. But from all indication now, the conversation now more or less is being pivoted to Nyombli Kanga Lauren. And there's no way ANC, CPP, they are forced to do that. In order to be viable into this race, you have to create that competition with your main opponent. The presidency is the power ball, is the key aspect. But in order to validate, for people to take you serious, you have to create a sort of competition with your opponent. And their main opponent now is the Unity Party Ambassador Joseph Nyoma Boyka, who came up with this big fetch, Fanima. And the reason people don't know, the reason people go in there, the House or the Senate to get people, you want somebody that is already in the system to help to push your agenda. It's simple. Yep. That's where it either becomes a killing process of the president's agenda or the president move. That's why most of the time you got to go in there, somebody who knows the system. And that was a strategic decision on the part of Boyka as well. Knowing full well, I think they were kind of like struggling. But ANC now is trying to capitalize on it. And there are so many reasons. If you look at it calculatively and politically, Kumi is prepared to do that. He doesn't want to be seen always, even though that's a name being labeled on somebody in desperation, this and that. But as a politician, at some point in time, you got to be conciliatory. In order for people to see your human side, for some other notion to be erased about you, you don't want people to always perceive the actual fact of who you are. Let them have a second thought of you. I think that's the direction of the ANC is going. And they are not talking with only Nyombli Kanga. Nyombli Kanga got her own follower. Trust me, when Nyombli Kanga goes through, Darius Dillon will follow suit. Darius Dillon, he said with his job, that's not just all about it. but he also wants to go up there in a hurricane within the Senate. So there are a lot of conversation going up. So you're not just only going to accommodate Nyombi Kanga Lauren, you're going to accommodate Darius DeLong. You have other folks that are there who are being. So those are the conversation going out. So this tweet in itself is a clear indication that there's some sort of level of progress being made. What I'm waiting for to see whether there will be a game changer into this. How with this here, I'm not sure. I got to go back to my text. But they are considering the possibility of either changing the venue, and that is very, very much strategic. If Nyombi Kanga would be the pick of the CPP, ANC, the best political decision to be to go to Gbezon, to go to the Basel land, where you can lift the hands of their daughter. That will add up to it. I'm not sure whether they're going to do that, but that would be a good political strategy. It will build up her momentum. It will elevate her position in that, and it will send a reminder. Remember, we're talking about this thing here. I talked about this time, but UPP say they are making a preparation. By this time, they should be off and running. And interestingly, before you come in, our guy, LPR chief in Liberia, went to his own county, Nimat, to do registration. And interestingly, from what he gathered and what he's telling us, people, not just only the Mayans, but people are going to their county of origins to do the final registration. You know, the registration is being broken into pieces, zone and all of that, or counties or whatever, assigned by NEC. That's what people are doing. So the population that people see in Monrovia will not just necessarily be the one that people are going to dwell on. Do you think ANC making that pronouncement, I don't know whether they are called a venue, if they change that venue, for example, to take it to Grand Bassa, what do you think going to happen?
I think changing that venue would be a plus. And that will even drum up the momentum for coming. Because here is another factor. The Bassa people, the Bassa citizenry, they are all over Liberia. And one of the tribes that is much closer to the southeasterners is the Bassa people. You go to Grand Crew now, you'll find Bassa people there. You go to Riverside, in fact, you'll find more people there. Okay?
Mangibi corridor.
Yes. So traditionally, the tribes are more close, next in line, or closer to those from the southeastern region will be the Bassa people. So assuming, let's flip this coin, and we hear the strange announcement that Ability is going as a running mate. It will be like a funeral.
You know, I brought you the other day, not to call you out. That was the push of the Ability factions of with the LPP. They were pushing that. But when they saw the actions of Unity Party, which was politically strong, he was trying to do that, but that didn't work. So when you try that, then the whole train is going to derail. So that way, that premature death.
Yes. And even if they went that direction, I can see Yomli maneuvering now to support Black-Eye, to create a question for ANC. And that whole battle, she will position them in Black-Eye direction, just to see to it that ANC doesn't go anywhere. Okay? And you found that the ability comes from the Maningo background. So you will find them in Bon County, you will find them in Nima County, you will find them in Lofa County. The southeastern are doubted. Seriously, that they are as popular there as compared to the Bassa people. So it's like there are so many things need to be factored into the whole discussion. But let us not just waste time on that. That's just another analysis. But going back to Bassa, holding one of their daughter's hand high in the heaven
Those people, they don't have good strategies.
Yeah, that will be a plus.
That will be a
plus. Yes, that will be a plus for ANC. That one. Two, it will disabuse the mind of the Bastolians that indeed peace has come in the CPP, and our daughter now, at least we won't see her going forward. A lot has happened, but if we wasting time on the lot that has happened, we're not going to go nowhere. If we stay wasting time on the Supreme Court decision, we're not going to go nowhere. If we waste time on those who authored this document and we stay having that bad blood, we're not going to go nowhere. So, ANC must smoke the peace pipe then yumly. Yes. Because ANC needs a child. He needs a child to go across the river.
All right. Let's go to Minneapolis.
She can go to any mother. But ANC needs a child. So he must smoke the peace pipe down with Yumli.
So right now, yeah, they're in a, but let's go to Minneapolis, where the Tier 1 says Gonglo guy, they are planning a big fete dinner, but he's not giving up. He said he's the underdog, but he's not going up. Anything can happen in the game of politics, even in the last minute of time. So this is what we're going to be having. Councilor Tier 1 Gonglo, we are hearing he's going to be here, and we're going to be having a dinner banquet. May 13 in Philadelphia, Liberia Public Radio. Hopefully we'll be there to provide that coverage. This is the guy, he's one of the brain behind the Tier 1 Gonglo folks. He sit in Minnesota and throw all of the political strategy far in the East Coast here. I think I have to find some sort of interceptor to make sure and divide them and throw them in my ocean state here. Okay. Sister Goya, good evening. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, my brother Mali, how you doing, my man? I see you mobile today.
Yes.
He threw a message in the chat that he was going to decide today, right, Mali?
Today I have relocated.
Mali.
Temporarily.
Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
Let me quickly, before I go to Sister, you throw a message in the chat, you say you're going to decide which way today, right?
No, moderator, not yet.
What are you waiting for?
I mean, I'm okay, bridge, but man, keep going this way and that way.
Yeah. When you said market, you remind me, Insano. We have our Insano to get a play that market bridge where you click when you go on that bridge, man. You, oh my goodness, you have.
You know what? You know exactly what I'm talking about. That market bridge thing. So.
They got one in Lofa?
They got a lot of market bridges in Lofa.
I know.
Okay, look, I know you're going to disabuse me right now. With all of this, all this thing here, you're having banquet, this and that. Who is really talking to Councilor Tier 1 Gonglo now? Gonglo is still a factor. Gonglo also get a base that can cause damage into this whole entire process. Is Joseph Boyka or Alexander Cumming who is willing to make that political accommodation? That's all they need to do right now. The ANC, the Unity Party folks, that's all they need to do right now. Basically, not to undercut someone's political ambition, but looking at all that is unfolding now to quite a big political deal. Is that taking place within the LPP Tier 1 Gonglo, Sisi?
Well, you're right. Let me push back on your premise. Let me disabuse you of that.
Oh my goodness! I know that guy can't let anything go.
Councilor Tier 1 Gonglo did not get into the race for deal making. Any deal that puts personal achievement or personal benefits over the Liberian people's plight is satanic, is barbaric, and we will not participate in it. Now, if you ask me, which group is making sure that they tailor their message and they try to incorporate all of the councillors' vision and mission for Liberia, then that would be a conversation to be had, because the councillor has said over and over that if there is somebody who espouses the ideology he espouses and the vision he espouses for Liberia and have shown that they have the courage and the intellect to carry forth that vision, he will leave the race. And so we're talking to everybody that thinks Liberia matters. People who are not talking to us are people who think Liberia doesn't matter. So the councillor is willing to talk to anybody. But let's make this emphatically clear. The councillor did not get into this race to be a vice presidential contender. I know
that's not a normal routine of politicians.
I know. But there was a point in time where people even thought that, oh, the man will be a good, what was it, Chief Justice. And I kept telling people, do you understand the Constitution? You don't elect somebody for a Chief Justice position, and the Chief Justice position is a tenure position. So if we want to maintain the rule of law, we don't vote for somebody who will come in to take somebody from the Chief Justice position to put our guy in. But having said that, though, Councillor Zean Soe Gonglo is still making the rounds. We're still talking to Liberians. We're allowing these people to make their choices, which is good, by the way. I think that the ANC people were strategic. They pushed the Unity Party people and kept pressuring the Unity Party to pick their choice. And then they were going to leave. They were going to the buyer that get left over. So now that Joseph Boakai, the buyer was picking it right. They took you made it the same rest. The buyer. So Joseph Boakai is picking his. Now the buyer is left over. Now the ANC will pick. But here is the thing that bothers me, that the ANC and the Unity Party people feel like there's nobody else outside the echo chambers that they can go to select to be a good vice presidential contender for Liberia. I think that's a conversation to be had. But Councillor Zean Soe Gonglo is in town, and we hope you can be there. We hope all Liberians can be there. Go listen to the man who has the broom. The people now announced the fixture 1, the fixture 2 about the con, the rescue 1, rescue 2 about the con. We just here, we're about to announce Liberia 1 and Liberia 2, just love of country.
This sort of political
moderator.
Yeah, I know you're coming. I did something special to catch you.
Why you always like to fall in this guy trap?
Yeah.
You always said.
Yeah, let me just chip in there a little bit. I don't know. I stand to be correct. I have been using my lenses to go through our presidential history in Liberia. I have never come across a first-time candidate succeeding to the presidency. I have not seen it yet. I stand to be corrected. You see, Councillor Gongolo, he one of the candidates that the Liberian people, he one of the type of candidate that the Liberian people don't like.
How?
One of the best person that is moving in line theoretically. I've been reading some of his stuff. Theoretically, he one of the person in level-minded Liberians supposed to go his direction. Yes. But in communication, there's something called marketing your image. Zean Gongolo is still marketing his image. And one good thing on his side, you see, I don't know, it's like he has a very good communication specialist. The specialist that advised him to go to the southeastern counties. He didn't go there because he wanted to get a message. He went there because he's from Nima and he wants to see the resentment and all the problems Prince Johnson created. What are they going to get? What are going to be a blanket? Guilty blanket area with Nima people that go to the southeast, they drive you out. I think Zean Gongolo wanted to test that water, and he tested it.
Oh boy!
And he passed that test.
Is about to go off.
That one good thing under his belt, and I must congratulate him for that. As compared to ANC, who even started in Grand Nigeria, and they had to chase him off. I mean, I don't want to go into that, but it was devastating. So what I want to say here is this: Zean Gongolo just coming, and I let him move his tactical move.
Are you one of those in this talking point?
No. He might not go. He might not capture the presidency now, but the foundation he laying, if for any reason, the incumbent succeed himself, Zean Gongolo will replace UP to be a front runner in 6 years.
Okay.
I keep hearing, and my brother, Mr. Mali, I appreciate you. On the issue of marketing, there's no product as long as you stay in circulation that stops marketing. Even Coca-Cola is still marketing Coca-Cola, right? After they left from having cocaine in their drinks to now no longer having cocaine. Here's the name cup. Well, but that is if
why Amos George come on and then you talking about Coca-Cola?
I'm just saying, I don't see nothing but people. Walmart is still advertising. So we're still the message is still there. We're still sending the people. But look, to your point about the Southeast, Zean Soe Gonglo is the first prominent Ibayan that went to Grand Jude and people gave him room to sleep.
Yeah.
Zean Soe Gonglo, when the Grand Judeans were falsely accused of trying to overthrow the Ellen government and put in jail, he was the guy forgetting about tribal. He understood the idea of authority. And he knew what that meant traditionally back in the day before we came up and fascinating or that the people of Nibakate and the people of Grand Jude, they are interrelated. And he defended those people. And so I will tell you this. When you go to Grand Jude, the political party with the best offices in Grand Jude is the LPP. The offices we have in Grand Jude is even better than the one we have in Monrovia. So the point that I'm trying to make here is I hear everybody keep saying, 2029, and this is the first presidential candidate that will be running trying to unseat. Yeah, but never in the history of Liberia have we had somebody this competent, this qualified, this tried, and this tested. And so there is always a once in a generation chance for a once in a generation candidate that will transcend everything we've been dealing with. And Zean Soe Gonglo fits that bill. And that is why, why everybody's doing the late and picking this, they're not picking that, somebody getting called to somebody, another person looking at somebody matter for their running mate. What we are doing is we're remaining steady. We are engaging the Liberian people who matter in this thing and not the echo chambers to ensure that the Zean Soe Gonglo presidency will encompass what the Liberian people want for themselves and for their children.
Let's welcome ANC Diehard. Let me welcome my former boss is here this evening. Work with this guy, one of the funniest, the Armored Branding Samuka. I think the politics is.
Hello to my uncle. Uncle Samuka, how you doing, Chief?
I shouldn't talk that because when you finish slashing your uncle, then you ready to. That was I just put you on the spot. Amos George.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Soe. Good evening, Sisi, and good evening, Mr. Miles John.
How are you, sir?
Great.
Okay. Whole while we're talking here, by the time you pop in, Sisi, I don't know, but anyway, I don't want to repeat what he says, so I can't be the one because at the end, you say nothing guaranteed with you before you not throwing it at me to say, oh, that you the one you didn't hear from Sisi.
So you're the moderator.
Eh?
You're the moderator.
No, I don't want to say it.
Well,
if it's serious,
he's not a moderator, he's a power creator. I didn't make a great power in there.
If it gets smelt, it gets serious, we'll know it.
Well, maybe you won't be like the people who will say it's in the interest of the state, but they can't talk it. Maybe you want to be part of those people.
All right, let's leave that talk. Okay, Amos George,
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation here. You read a tweet of Senator Kangai Lawrence, right?
No.
You come with no business again tonight?
You asked me and I said no. So, I mean, if she posted something, maybe I had not.
I think somebody called it Papier. He may have been message discipline the last 2 weeks.
Huh?
They might be okay, just fire the feet and just answering questions straight to the point. And
Oh, when you come up with being message discipline, I always discipline. Y'all just be accusing me falsely. Y'all don't like me now. Y'all all want to make me the people man on the show yet. Now, I continue. I said, they say, oh, they man, this and that again. When I try again, they say, oh, this and that. Hello, bad child. And we're trouble that he. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, no, you say you didn't. Okay.
Yeah, but you can just summarize it to me. Summarize
I read it to you.
Yeah, but you the moderator. You asked me. I said no. And
Okay.
if you want me to comment on it, then just give a summary of what happened, what you wrote.
Okay. Let's do it this way here, in the interest of fairness.
Yeah.
Kanga has been very, very, and I mean, she's a politician, so she's walking a fine line here to And that's what a good politician does. Letting it to play out by itself and let people be thinking that you're going to hear all of the signal. He said, well, I'm a leader. And every leader is open to talk with everyone. There's no status of limitation, as to say, it doesn't matter whether you had a political differences. This tweet here, the word in this tweet here, there's so much in there when you try to break it down. And I think I kind of like her tone here is somehow. We are open to talking with anyone in public or privately. She's not closing the window. She's not closing the door, as we have always done in the past. So giving justification of whatever she's saying in the present. This is the one that is interesting. Under the prevailing circumstances, I wish you give me the opportunity to have a conversation with her. Under the prevailing circumstances, our decisions will be guided by our principle. Those words were really, she rather put those, really condensed everything into one context, will be guided by our principle. And in the best interest of our country, we will speak soon. She's not using no owl, so she's getting all her ally, consulting all of her allies as well, so that when for whatever decision, when she takes the decision, she will go. But from this year and considering all what is going on, Amos George, let me just ask you, will it be a good choice at this time for ANC to think in that direction with Senator Nyambli Kanga Lawrence?
Well, Senator Nyambli Kanga Lawrence, I think she's a good person, and if the ANC decide to carry her to reach a mark, fine. But let me say this: there's no war that ever ended on the battlefield. Get that? Every war ends on the table. No war ever ended on the battlefield. So she's a citizen. She's free to talk to any group of Liberians. If they have the same interest, if they want to reconcile, hey, that's it.
All right. I say he not joking. A few days. He's not joking. So why other people are mad instead of then focusing let me bring in Mali John. Because I listen to some of the supporters, and this is where the discouragement is coming in. They take time to focus on their opponent, whether the bad or the good. And that's a different with CC. Even when we try to put here, at the end of the day, he will pivot and come to his candidate, to define his candidate. But I've been listening to other folks. Why are they talking to Nyambli Kanga Lawrence? Yesterday, she was this, she was that. I like, what these people, do they know what?
You know, Mr. So let me tell you something before you go to Mali. Many of us go on the Facebook, sometimes we don't even attach to the candidates. We say things that we think that is good for us. That's just the whole thing. You know? You can go ahead, I want to make that point.
Yeah. So at this point in time, Matt Jones, as a communication person, if you were speaking for like Ambassador Boyka, also, will you be focusing on that person, or will you just draw the contrast, your candidate and the other candidate, but instead using 2 hours? Why can't I do this one? Why can't I do this? You're not even defining your candidate. You're not making your candidate to be familiarized with the people who don't know your candidate, even though you think they know. But when we're talking about knowing, we are talking about the agenda, the visions of that candidate. What is he bringing? What is he talking that other candidates are not talking? That is not happening.
Yes, I agree with you. But I think what's going on right now is that I don't know whether these people have been able to put their communication machinery in place. I don't know. I really don't know. Because there are so many variables that I can use right now to conclude that there's something going on with the Unity Party. Yes. First of all, the issue of the VP have become very crucial right now. But then look at the advantages and the disadvantages. Kumi is out Kumi is in a very tight spot right now. Yes. He can just go in for any John, Dick, and Harry right now. And more importantly, if Kumi decide to fall on a male vice president, the scenario would be like the Joseph Boakai scenario. But bringing in a woman could really make the difference. All right.
Why?
But let's get back to your question. I think there's something wrong with these people with the Joseph Boakai communication machinery. And quote unquote, I think there's a problem with the secretariat. Yes, I don't know whether they have one. Because a communication specialist should fall under the secretariat. But the communication specialist supposed to be detecting the pace at this time and touching base at this time.
Are they not doing that?
All right. The last time I said on this platform, from where Joseph Boakai and his team came from within nomination and all the kind of thing, there is a need for a homecoming. At the level of the Liberian, had the understanding there's a need. The Helen Johnson Sirleaf wing is not happy. Boakai has added new enemy to the old ones. So there's a more work for a communication specialist right now within the Unity Party. But it's like I see a lot of people relax. So are they giving the impression they're giving me now is that we have done our homework. The voters are in the box. And come October, we'll just unlock it. And they send out to the executive mansion. This is why I'm sensing with the UP right now. Because the video that came out about the Senator Kuhn, these are all old video. Yes. I have not seen Senator Kuhn addressing the press since he was elevated. I have not seen it. I have not even seen the United Party as a party. But I asked a question the last time on this platform. I said, the Senator Kuhn party, is it a merger? Or they just went there to pick a gentleman to come? I asked this question. And I asked the question because I don't know whether it's a merger. And they just picked the gentleman, like what they did the last time. With Nukwe, just pick him and he joined this thing here. Because if it were a merger, we would have seen memorandum of understanding sign. We would have seen so many things being done. You see, this is what a merger.
Yeah.
Actually, these are some of the intricacies of a merger, but I did not see it. But let's get back to the whole communication thing. There's something going on.
What?
I think there's something going. Hello?
Yeah, we're hearing you. What's going on?
Okay. There's something going on. With the people come here, it seems to there's something going on with this whole communication thing. I can tell you that. Because in communication, when the Romans are more than the facts, that institution is in trouble. And I see what's happening with the Joseph Boakai and his crew. The Romans are taking over the facts and nobody coming in between there to break the gap. Everybody just sitting down.
Let me hold you there. Hold you there.
Okay.
Communication. And that's a very crucial stuff here. And that's a very important question, but only those that are close with the authority can confirm that here. But Sissy, let me just bring you here before George here. And Jones kept breaking.
But moderator, before Sissy come in, panelist Koto said the last time. She said something I still remember. She said we are still working behind closed door. All right? How long you gonna start working behind closed door? How long?
Don't be like Bob Mario.
I yield.
Koto also said Koto was giving her opinions, her own view. She says she's not a unity partisan, but she's sympathetic.
Come on, now Hoagie throwing. I'm going to count in live.
Oh my goodness. So quickly here. we saw this happening, but I'm quite sure it was not an overnight something. I believe there was some sort of conversation as to how long those conversations took place before coming into the spotlight. That's a different thing. But is it an open confederation, or is it just something? Okay, you know what? Let's just put it together here. I trust you. You trust me, like a gentleman arrangement. You take this 1 year. Is that something? Is that something they're supposed to do? He says it.
Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, Senator Prince Johnson has spoken before about some coming together, some collaboration with other political parties way before Jeremiah Kun was announced. I think he did that in Imba County. So I think they have some partnership with the party, not just Jeremiah Kun. But look, let me say this, and this is coming from a die-hard supporter of Tiawan Seye Gonglo. I think if Alexander B. Cummings picks Yombli Kanga Lawrence as his choice, that would be a major. You know how when you eating, you enjoying the food, then you not go get it, they not play it in your shoe, so kind of boom, get his in your throat. It made a whole food sour in your mouth. That would be a boom in the throat of Joseph Nyima Boakai.
If Yombli is picked,
if Yombli is picked, that would be a tactical and a strategic and a calculated move by ABC and the ANC or the CPP. Because here is where the problem comes in. The United Party people, would you go hard after Yombli Kanga? This person has been in your backyard, has been in your trenches, has been sitting with a pape. Will you go hard after her? How hard do you go after her without your own words coming back to bite you? Number one. Number two, she's a female. Do you go? How hard do you be measured, or do you get desperate and give and violate every norms of tradition, knowing that you have the elderly statesman who has been preaching traditions and norms? Do you violate that to go after Yombli Kanga? That would be, if ABC picks Yombli Kanga Lawrence, that will put a lot of problem in the strategy for the United Party. But that is not to say that would be smooth sailing either for the ANC. Now, remember that Yombli Kanga comes with DeLong. For a long time, a lot of highly placed AMC people have been calling DeLong fake, because they said DeLong got elected and he was supposed to do something for Cummings and he didn't do it. All of a sudden, he's fake. Now, do they go back and swallow their words on DeLong being fake and coalesce around DeLong and move that? I think that would be easier. It will be much easier than what Joseph Nyima Boakai is dealing with this whole thing about people being mad about not being picked as vice president. So I just want to put it out there that if the ANC or the CPP picks Yombli Kanga Lawrence and they can mend fences between Musa Beledi and wing of the LP and Yombli Kanga wings of the LP, I think that would be strategic. I think it moves ABC and his group way into the major fighting zone. And I think that will be strong. Now, the issue that I think they need to learn from, and I hope the ANC people are going to learn from this, because they've seen the mistake that the United Party have made. They pick a candidate and they did not play anything around that candidate. Because at this point, this man is new on their stage at the vice presidential level. They should have put this man in a bubble, in a cocoon, and have strategic places where he goes and delivers strategic messages. Right, he should be the guy out, because everybody knows JMB in every county. Not everybody knows Jeremiah Kun in most of the county. So this is when you roll out the mat, the red carpet, get him out, let him speak. Make sure you keep him on message. But they're not doing that. The one message, the one time Jeremiah Kun has spoken since the main VP was to come back to react to Edith Gonglo statement. You saw that video?
Actually, I'm not saying that, but yeah.
He did a video. He did I think a 10 minutes or less video responding to Edith Gonglo.
I think Edith said something.
Right. But you are the vice presidential candidate. And he kept talking about, oh, madam, if this was a beauty pageant where men are not allowed to come in.
For the little one that I know, he says, not to interrupt you, I've been seeing some of his interviews and stuff like that. He seems to have a guy who is contained in terms of temperament. Why would was that a good strategy to respond?
That was not. He's not contained.
That was bad. That was bad It was very bad. And I think if the Unity Party people understand anything about morality and our tradition and going against after women and being this sexist and stuff he was after Edith Gonglo, they will either pull that video to the extent they can.
It's a factor in by the election.
They need to come up with some clarification, because that video was demeaning, it was condescending, it was sexist, it was below the level of a vice presidential candidate. And if this is the first video you release after they put you on the highest stage, the Unity Party people, they can't just allow this guy to run by himself. They need serious handlers around him, and I think they failed Jeremiah Cohn, and to a greater extent, they're failing the old man Bwakai.
So I haven't seen that, but does that matter? Would the electors take that into consideration? That's another component of it.
But how would Josiah Yuma Bwakai continue to say that he's the editor, statesman, and tradition and everything, when you have the guy right next to you is going after a female in this way? It dilutes the message. That's the point I'm making. So because at the end of the day, you have to have a niche. You have to cut and say, this is my turf. When you hear statesmen and elderly statesmen and tradition and culture, your mind goes automatically to Josiah Yuma Bwakai. When you hear about corporate citizenship and corporate responsibility and bringing in the cleanliness of government, the clean hands from the diaspora, your mind goes to Alexander Benedict Cummings. When you hear people talk about the rule of law and the people serving and everybody, your mind goes to Tiawan Gonglo. So if that is your brand, and you have your vice presidential pick kind of almost saying things that goes against your brand, you have to come up to clean that.
Amos Joy, let me bring you here. Sese is a supporter of Tiawan Gonglo, so he creating a cutting edge here now with this tooled rival. And I said that ANC, CPP, and the Unity Party, they must have that sort of intense rival in order to validate their position to be a main challenger if it goes whatever round, so that the other side, Unity Partisans or other people sitting on the edge will say, oh yeah, we thought this guy was Nandes here, because you got to be competitive first and foremost to your opponent in order to get that political space here. So let me ask you this. With all of these hooks being put on the air by Sese, who support Tiawan Gonglo, how can ANC/CPP or the Unity Party, how can they go after one of their challengers? What sort of strategy should they adopt?
Let me say this.
Because when you say something, people will say, oh, maybe you try to do this and you might potentially alienate voters. But you got to also do some punches. But how should they go about to do it?
Let me say that. Sister has not seen anything, out of the blue. He said it. And he was condescending on this lady. There's nothing going after someone, disagree with someone on policy. But he explained, I saw the video, that the contested election, he won the election, and he's from Nima County. And he went there, he said, I want to tell her, if that be the passion, I will not go there. But if that man, then I will go there. Something like that, he said the phrase he used. That's condescending on this lady. You can disagree with her on issues, but you can't go down in the gutter on her and you expect us to say, oh yeah, he all right. No. This is again, I will always say, I will wrap it around on our Bwakai. This is a man he attacked. And if he said, as he always said, that he believed in respect, dignity for people, tradition, coupled with tradition, and the man that he picked the work along with him, signing condescending on women, and nobody from the Union Party has even come out to clear the air what Kuhn meant by that, then there's a serious problem. That's a legitimate issue that will go after them. It's not character assassination that you're trying to attack them for something that he did not say. He said it.
Are you calling on ANC, for example, to push that line as well?
I don't have to call on ANC. I'm speaking also as a human being. I will not address anybody like that.
Well, you support ANC. You support it. So it's like indirectly, we will go after these people based on
Mr. So that is a fair line for Mr. Jeremiah and Unity Party to explain. I'm not spokesperson for ANC, but I'm seeing.
Okay. Yeah, come in. You did this on purpose to cause another chaotic situation here this afternoon. So now, should Ambassador Boyka or top insider of Unity Party. What can they do? Should they distance themselves from that statement?
Let me tell you.
How address it?
The Unity Party don't care. They feel that they got Liberia, they got all the voters in their hands. So whatever they say is
why would Amos Joyce say that?
So to be fair, because this network, this platform is a credible platform. There was a comment in the chat that says that was an old video. So what I've been doing, I went on Jeremiah Cohn's Facebook page, and I've been looking for that video to see the timestamp on it, because we want to be fair to people. This is not an network where we come to and just throw stuff out. The video is not on Jeremiah Cohn's Facebook page anymore, so I don't know if it's been scrubbed from there. So to the person in the under the feed, if this is an old video, then I think then yeah, you're right, but it still has to be explained away, because that was
has a problem.
But then that loses some steam because he did not release that video when he became vice president.
Yes.
The problem is I'm looking on his Facebook page. I'm on Senator Jeremiah Cohn's official Facebook page. The video is not there, so I can't tell now whether it was yesterday or 10 months ago. So I want to be fair to Jeremiah Cohn and his supporters, because this is a credible network. We got to be fair about that. But to answer your question, whether or not this video was 10 years ago or 10 hours ago, the Unity Party, that's why I told the other day when my sister Koto was here, I said these people should have done their research a long time. What dossier did they consider when they were picking their VP position? Because they should have had all of these pluses and minuses and be ready to make sure that they move on to minimize the minuses. And some of these videos will be some of those minuses that they have come out to explain and maybe put in context. Remember once on this platform, we talked about the Cummins hammock picture.
Yeah.
I said the people around Cummins did Cummins a disfavor because they did not put that in context. They allowed other people to create the narrative around that, and it took seed because there was a reason, there was a context around which Cummins got in that hammock. It was not because he was high above everybody or he was an American Liberian coming back and the indigenous people putting him in a hammock that used to happen back in the day, but because the ANC strategic team or the communication team did not frame the conversation. They allowed people to frame the conversation. And so I think when you wrote out a vice presidential candidate, especially after this long time while people have been waiting, I would have hoped that all this time the vice president was taking to announce, former vice president was taking to announce his pick, would have been time that the machinery, the Unity Party machinery would have been put in place to make sure that they are guiding their choice and rolling him out. But they haven't done that. My only thing though to Mr. George is that I hope the ANC is seeing this, and I hope they're learning from the mistakes the Unity Party is making, so that when they announce their fixture too, that they are ready to roll that person out and maintain the momentum, because he got a long time to go to elections.
Oh yeah, Sister, thank you. That's true. And Mr. So I Sister was saying, what the person asked, even if the video made 10 years ago, that is part of your record. When you get somewhere, and when they come, you have to defend it. So there's no way around it.
Let's do
what I said. 5 years, someone can question me on it. It is my responsibility to explain to them. Okay, so whether it was made 2021.
And it took some video from Nigeria, Kenya, and things, and they say people are Abuja. I mean, that's how politics, the high.
You have to come to clarify it and send that video, whatever it was, Honorable Kun that posted it, or someone that posted it for whatever reason. It was incumbent on the campaign on Mr. Kun to come and explain what he meant by that. But everybody going to share, they say, okay, you know what happened? Forget it, man. Anything we say is okay. The Liberian people, we got them. This is what they're telling you.
Okay.
These people are not prepared. Because as Cesar was saying, or Mary was saying, since the nomination, how many press conferences the vice president has had?
I think ANC, one thing I know, when after the zoning year, it will not be easy. We will not see, because if the way you're making address the nation when you be president, it will not be easy. Every week, hey, I say president can't talk. We come and get one president that will talk. So
no, but the idea you have when you travel or things, then when they are issuing the country, you are the last person that people want to hear for. Always assuring the people, even if it's good or bad, but they'll give the people some assurance that somebody is looking after them. That's just
Let's
it.
get some random samplings of views of our onliners here. And I've been hearing this, and some people been talking. I don't know what they are saying and what it means, but that's his view here. He can express this. Kelly T. Caselli, hopefully I'm calling it. If Nyomblin listened to President Helen, her political career is over. She needs to play her game with care. Why will she is a former president of the Republic of Liberia? There's no way we would disagree with her. In every political institutions, there's other people, there are influencers, there are people who there to make things happen. And they have their political weight. And not just only saying it, it comes with resources to execute an effective campaign. Why people are upset with Helen Johnson adding her voice to the political discourse? Why? Yeah, anybody can come in. Why should people even, why they should make deal of that?
So before Emojo come in, let me bundle something because I know my brother Achimbo Ferry will come for me again. Here's where the ANC got to be careful. Or the CPP, however name you go by this time. It's so different and we don't know where we're gonna name you go by anymore. But when Jeremiah Kuhn, coming from the MDR, was selected as the vice presidential running mate, major players in the CPP and the ANC chose to see beyond Kuhn to look at the invisible hand. And they said the war crimes code was dead because Prince Johnson hand is behind Jeremiah Kuhn. Now, I want to see if the ANC people will equal like my baby liberal can say on this one. Because if you pick Yombli Kanga Lawrence, and if the narrative that is out there is true, that she was pushed into making this decision by former President Sirleaf, then we too want to see the invisible hand behind her. Is the war crimes court dead also because of that? Because Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is a major factor in the war in Liberia. So let me wrap that up. I'm a bit before you answer all your questions. I want to hear to it.
Let me say this. The people who are seeing this now, and if the ANC folks are listening, this is why the communication come in. Start to debunk this. Because what they're trying to do now, their decision they made, they want to now push you to wrap Ellen Johnson, to bring her in now to the Labour Party, that she is the one that cut in the shot for them. Because, turn it around, if Ellen Johnson today endorse Joseph Walker, will they say the same thing about her?
He answered my question about the war crimes code being dead.
He's very good at that.
You're doing what about me? He won't answer that part because what the ANC people can do. He won't answer that part. You see the Louis Brown and what you're coming to do now.
I know you maybe you want to be in sympathy with your uncle, but he can't help himself. You're not helping.
There you go.
He goes to sit down to Gonglo then.
He rather go gutter with you. Trust me, I can't hold back. Who is uncle are you talking to?
He know her uncle, man. You don't tell me.
You're talking about Sir Joseph. Ain't talking about Senator Sir Joseph. You're so kind.
So here's the thing here. If Ellen Johnson right now announced that she's supporting Joseph Boakai, that noise we cease. But because their decision they took, so now they want to create a narrative that Yomli Kanga is not Ellen Johnson that remotely controlling her. Once you are by Honorable Boakai, he going to Basel. Did they call Ellen Johnson in? They didn't call Ellen Johnson in. Nobody could call that was one name. But now,
see
that they say Yomli Kanga post that she opened to talk to anybody now. Now you see what they're pushing out. Oh, that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Oh, that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So all the time she was with you people, who were cutting the shot for you people? When Joseph Walker visiting her, who were cutting the shot?
This is the convoluted.
Can you answer my question? If it is true, assuming without admitting, the narrative out there that it was the former president that pushed Yombli into making up her mind.
But
should we draw the same line that you're
let me say this.
Should we draw that same line with the war crimes code?
Oh, no, let me say this. Mr. Comey's position is very clear on this. Mr. Comey's position has said this, that the war crime code or anybody close to him, if the war crime code come, they will go there. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has admitted participating in the war. There's no excuse about that.
Let me ask a question. Maybe it might be.
But you haven't answered the question, Babe. Should we still draw that scene?
Mr. Joyce, can you tell the man you plead the fifth?
No, I will not plead the fifth. I'm just saying. Listen, Mr. Soe. Cesar will not force me to answer a question the way he wants it. Let's get this clear. Okay? So Cesar, you can push your narrative, push it. Uncle Joe will cost on dry rice with okra and small little soda on it. We'll sit and we'll eat it.
So you see, this is a frustration in this whole thing. Everybody protects their own alligator. And so when the time comes, we'll do it. But guys, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. And we're going to change the topic. What Councilor Zean Soe Ganglo, one of the presidential aspirants, will be in Philadelphia May 13, 2023, in a special dinner organized by friends of Councilor Zean Soe Ganglo. That's Saturday the 13th, 2023. The time is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Admission to that event, ordinary $50. Patron $100. Special guest $200. 7201 Emwood, that is in Emwood Avenue, Philadelphia. For more information, you can contact Mr. Wilbert Follett, Adam Masare, and Jerry Collet, 610-804-0986. And in other community news here, a group calling itself Sikh Community USA National Convention. Sikh Community, they are from Sino. They will be hosting their second annual convention that is in Philadelphia. PA, get ready. It's going to be a blast. The convention, the activity starts on the 8th to the 11th, the cookout. The president, Madame Williams, and the entire membership invite the general public. In fact, we're going to be having both groups here. They're going to be having a conversation. Even the folks from Zean Soe Ganglo, organizers, they're going to be here as well to have this conversation. This is something that unfolded right before our eye, outskirts of the main capital. And there seems to be a distraction. We are not looking at a yet we say we want corruption to address corruption, but he's gradually, we don't know yet, anything can happen, but he's on his way to Capitol Hill. Despite of the sanctions, he's found a shelter. It didn't work out in Bapolo. It didn't work out in Bone County, but Mount Gibby hosted and received him. Let's watch this and we're going to have a conversation in a bit.
She said she wanna feed me tonight.
I want to do it my way. Guys.
My almost representative there, Takunjeo, Jonathan Kofa. He tend to stay single now. Hey, man. The man running last election will be represented.
They're doing their own way. It looks like the punky
like
you usually say, I think the porcupine is out of the zoo right now. It's intern catching fresh.
That porcupine will soon go by again. You see how they make it do it like you're doing like it's a bear in hibernation. He come out, he go by a high hibernation.
No, but usually we usually found people when this event takes place in the interest of fairness. Oh, there was no crowd. When a crowd comes, oh, we're not sure these people are going to go. But I think Nokwe Emmanuel, Senator Nokwe has done everything being on attack without calling his name. He's been very strategic. Oh, we can't allow a stranger. But I've seen that rally, Mangibi, seeing that rally. He was given a public stage to speak at the Booker Washington Institute the other day.
I thought that was at that was at a high school. I don't think that would be the campus. It was at some Rock Institute, something. There's a high school campus.
Well, okay, and then I have to go back to that. But it sounded like and our guys who are watching it, if you can also get a, but yeah, okay, whatever it is. But he's been given huge public attention. I don't know whether that number that people it can translate into vote. But is he on his way to Capitol Hill?
Look, let's be fair, right? Put everything aside about the sanction and everything. Nathaniel McGay is a strategist. He's one of the brain trusts that brought the CDC into power. You can't deny that. The man knows, he understands how to conjugate the verb to eat. I-E-U-E. And we get everybody something to eat. And in Liberian politics, if we don't understand how to conjugate a verb to eat, halfway to get elected or to stay in power. McGill, love him or hate him, understands that. And so it will be difficult for a candidate running against McGill to think it will be an easy win. I just want to put it out there. It'll be very difficult. For anybody to run against McGill, they might win him, but it will be a drawn out battle. Remember, McGill still got money, and he still got people that he put in government that still owe loyalty to him. That pay for play scheme, it ain't just because they sanctioned the man went away. There's still people that stay giving the man a Laker too that will still bring their powers to bear. So the porcupine, as much as I would love to see it in a zoo 100%, sometimes you keep chewing under the fence and coming out. So the porcupine can come out and go back in. But let's be very fair though. In my Gibi, there's going to be a battle. Don't overlook Nathaniel McGill. He is going to be a force to reckon with. Now, one thing I'm going to put out here for the people who are still thinking about the Yombli Kanga piece, I was on the senator page. She released a prelude to a song called Diabo music. You know, anytime Yombli Kanga about to do something beat, a song called Diabo can do the music. There is a prelude she released, I think was it yesterday or today, to a song called Diabo music. And I believe that music will be the music that will roll her out into being announced as fixture 2 for the CPP. Y'all just watch out for that music.
Yeah, before Joyce to do that. So I don't understand. This person did not make it crystal clear here. So is the CPP ANC, are they trying to put us some sort of jamboree as well, equilibrium to that of the Unity Party event in order to get the media attention? But ANC, they are very good at doing that. I don't know whether the Unity Party did that the other day, and that's a very strategic thing because anytime Cummins is speaking, he makes sure all of these major networks, he sees it. That's how it's supposed to do. You want to seize the entire airwaves, and you get the. I'm sure they get the resources. Emma George can attest to that. They get the resources. Get all of these networks, up country, local station, and do the relay. And every other thing. If anybody want to do anything, pay them out. That's how you do it. You paralyze the whole other folks and let that attention be on you. Emma George.
Yeah.
Folks, the number is out there. We're going to be taking a few calls before we wrap out in the next 20-25 minutes. 682-433-8802 to participate is also available via WhatsApp. Yeah, go ahead.
As Sister was saying, if Nathaniel or McGill get into the race, it would be very, very nasty. Because first thing, the sitting senator don't want to see McGill. So how they're going to navigate that? The sitting senator, which of course is popular in that country also. So how Nathaniel McGill not going to navigate that? Because the other day was it this week? I saw him on forum. And he was saying to the people, stranger come here and tell you this and that. The only time they can come when election come in the guy to get money.
Maybe in subsequent time we'll play it, yeah.
So And I heard the people responding. So, let's say Kakatan is let's say
does he have a weight? Let's be honest here. Does he have a weight?
He has a weight, but you have a problem here. Kakatan and Habel, those are two different cities. To Natara knowing outside of Kakatan, where la Karakoman, all the area, to them know him there. Nukwe is knowing in all those areas. And Nukwe is vehemently opposing this man. So the fight now, that's what I'm talking about. Not time I say he got money, he can wear around. He got money. He got good money. That's why you see he doing that. No problem outside doing nothing. He got money. So he using the money to muscle his way in the country. But with a stakeholder that behind Nukwe, everywhere will fall behind Nathan Mange or will go against him. So the next thing, I want to see who will be running against him. That's another factor. So all the things will come to play. I know he's very good at strategy. Maybe he working with people in the rural area. Because I always say the city part is easier. But when you go in outside, and he can communicate with people because he speaks Pele also.
Oh, Maggie?
Yeah, Maggie speaks Pele.
Yeah, but the man at Bele, man, no, he speaks Bele.
Yeah, he speaks Pele.
Yeah,
he speaks Pele. So he can communicate also. But the only part I see now will he and Nukwe, because this will not be that it will be Nataya Make and Nukwe. This is what will come down to.
No, but the thing about it, Nukwe is not on the he's not on the ballot, right?
But Nukwe don't want him.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand he's a sitting senator.
So
he has defined him. He's a stranger, and he's been very strategic. He's not calling his name, but hey, do not allow people here. But McGee, with all his stuff, I've been listening to most of
it. Start calling him man, Joe. I can call him man McGee, man McGee. You start.
Well, hey, man, brother, you know, I don't call him a friend, so we call him the same way. But he has not called his name, and he's not responding to Nokwe. He said, look, I'm coming here for us to, you know, we need to work together to fix this one here. Is he using
he will have to respond to Nukwe. They're just a prelude to that campaign. Watch it. Nukwe will be a factor.
Will he go out to a campaign against him? Will there come a time that his name will be called?
Definitely he will do it. Nukwe will do it. He started already. He started already. And it's not even just now. From the day Nathan Market was looking for your home, when you went to Bopolo, but I mean, when you went to Bapolo, they said, no, you are you don't got no home yet. And he said, okay, let me go Bonkande because I can speak about the person. No. He said, no, let me go to anybody home, which is my Gibby. Now anybody told you, let me go there. They will accept me. So he went to my Gibby, the person, my son come. The high end.
So I don't want to get ahead of the game here. Supposing that he, Fala McGee, is elected as senator, go in the plate, what could that mean?
That's what I'm telling you. It will be a problem.
That would be a big deal.
There will not be a problem. After election, they all become part of the same legislative caucus, and they like are going to move on.
Mange said that
something I'm talking about.
Mange said that most of the people in the
playing leader. I was thinking about maybe playing leadership.
Well, here's the problem. If and this is a big if the CDC wins, George Weah wins re-election, and Nathaniel Falo McGill wins election, then automatically he becomes a power broker in the McGibby caucus.
In McGibby, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. If McGill wins and George Weah loses, he doesn't have that much power.
No.
And so at the end of the day, you know, my beginning used to say, so kind of swallowing with tape play. I don't Jonah swallow the few swallow Jonah. But so kind of way people come together.
Okay, what we're waiting to see, folks. The number is there just in case you want to participate. We're going to be wrapping out in the next.
But listen, let me just say something. You know, the comment that Lange made in our program, someone wrote it, that he said the next government, most of the ministers will be out.
He said they put to me. He said they put to me. They put them in their own community.
Okay, or is it the what? The people what? The me?
Yeah, he said there are ministers and officials in George Weah government currently that will not make it back if George Weah wins because those people are too mean. They're living in communities where the people don't even know they don't share with the people. You know, the loots that they get from the government, they don't share with the people.
Yeah.
Why is he making those statements?
But you can see the game plan now. That's what the discussion. That's the discussion they're having. Those statements don't come in isolation.
But it is a critical problem.
Why do people come for Jimmy Gray here? Fixer 2 will be named.
Yeah, don't matter people.
The
men say they're going to Nimba County to have the convention, but they will come to Monrovia to unveil their fixture 1, fixture 2. So I ask you, not name the person in Nimba County. If you name the person in Nimba County, then what the problem with rolling in oil again? What will know the person in Nimba County? So what we get time for when I come to Monrovia? But here's the problem when Nathaniel follow my game. He's feeling that he's been abandoned.
Yeah.
He's been abandoned since the sanction because there are people in the party hierarchy that are walking a tight line with him. As you can see, all the time he's been running, the CDC officially has not come out to his event. But you have not seen Mola Molu with him. You have not seen Jefferson Koji with him. You have not seen any of these people in the top hierarchy of the CDC with him. Not even people like Akaras Graydon. I'm not even want to be with him. So he's feeling that pinch on the one hand, and then he's looking at stuff that he put together as a master.
How can they come up publicly? This is something. What happens? What is the guarantee that they are not having these conversations behind the screen that you don't know? I don't know.
No, that is a fact. But here's the point I'm trying to make to you. Is you can tell from McGill, you can see from the man body structure and the way and every way he lost weight. Is that, let me tell you something. It's one thing you must have thought behind the scenes. One thing you can come in the street and talk for me. Those are two different things. Because a Nathaniel McGill running outside of sanction, everybody and their grandpa from CDC will be in that place. Not even the lower level people. Forget about Jefferson Koji, forget about Mola Malu, even forget about Akaras Gray. Not even the lower level seditians from the party hierarchy are running to him. So he's become like a leper. Nobody want to touch him for the guy leprosy. And that is bothering him to the extent that at that program, it was not even at a press conference where people asking questions and say, "Oh, I'm not expecting that question." He volunteered that information that people in George Weah government that are mean, that they will not come back because they mean to their own people. Is that appealing? That conversation.
Let's reconstruct his language. Is that sort of appealing to him? Because to be honest, his exit at this time here, it was a big blow to the CDC, to the establishment, because Magay, he was almost like the Kekuraboto type, that sort of communication, the language, speaking the language, the understanding, that appealing to him. And when he pulled that plug, that was a big blow there. But is he communicating with the voters in a specific language there? Look, these people now, you guys know me when I was in authority. Things that I used to do, talk and do, that's the name. But see now, is that a special way to kind of like appeal to voters so that they were given the opportunity?
So if that is appealing to the voters, then that means you're throwing somebody under the bus. Who are you throwing under the bus?
That's what politics is all about.
But I get it.
So then be victimized.
I get it. But why should the collateral damage be your own political party if you're not unhappy with them? That's the point I'm making. So, because otherwise, there's so many people you would have thrown under the bus. But to pick the collateral damage to be people from your own political party suggests that somehow you got some unhappiness with them. That's the point I'm making. I'm not saying he's not right. I mean, he's a tactician. That's a fact. You can't take that from Nathaniel McGill. He's a tactician.
Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the porcupine is out of the zone. You saw that rally there. My guess yet, well, like it or not, he's on his way to capital. He is a factor in Mangibi. If anybody thinks that you think he's on his way, he's doing it quietly, no noise. I don't think he's really. Yeah, he's worrying inside, but phone, text messages, rolling on. You understand the conditions, you know what is going on here. But trust me, we are with you to the end of this marathon here. Haven't not in the building at the Capitol Hill. What would that mean?
Yeah, this is just a clear signal that we have a very fragile and feeble political system. And it's very sad to see systemic corrupt official being celebrated to the teeth. That's just tell you the type of people that we're dealing with in Liberia. Yes. So this man, he has been declared a corrupt official, even removed in government. He's still a player. This man now going people behind him. The people had even refused to believe that the man is corrupt. Can you imagine that? The people refuse to believe that this guy is corrupt. And so they're pushing him now to go to the Senate. So what kind of society are we really running? It baffled me a whole lot. Except because I came this way and now seeing the opposite of things? Or is that a normal thing for us at our level? The crowd the men were pulling, I saw that crowd. I even had some friends who then I went to school. They're supporting this guy. I can't even believe it. All right. So then that means corruption has become a way of life where it's no more a problem. Even when you steal, we'll still glorify you and give you your flower. You see? And you notice this guy, everywhere he went in my Gibby, he using Joe Weir also. He promoting Joe Weir. He is, and like Sister said, the guy, he's still a tough power broker. I'm telling you. He's a very tough power broker, and he a tough man in the Lebanese community. Very tough. Yes. I think we know the interpretation to that. We can go in details because we don't have the facts.
No, better Lebanese.
Okay. Okay. So I learned that I stand to be corrected, but they're unconfirmed sources that the man is still on active payroll.
Yeah, I've been hearing that.
I don't have that evidence. Nobody should attack me. But this is what I get.
I'll talk about it.
No, we'll have to talk. Maybe somebody may have idea.
The man said got state security.
Yes. Okay. The man is living adjacent to some of my family people. The man is even being treated in high esteem than when you were even official in the executive mansion. People still lining up to that man's house like prime minister. And Joe, we are even visit the man, according to my relative. And they still hang on in town there. So the only different year with the folks is that he no more sitting down behind our decks in the executive mansion, and that's all. You see? So, Mr. Moderator, it is a sad day for us to see the group of people. This is the man we said he was corrupt. Even Uncle Sam brought that whole thing on him, and Joe, we were embarrassed. They had to get him out. In an advanced, developed country, like where we are, probably someone will take that man to court, and he got to justify what he stole and all that kind of thing. You see, so sympathy is killing the type of politics we're running in Liberia.
So what is a guarantee? All of the
But Mr. Mali, though, the problem
No. There is no guarantee here. It's straightforward. I want to strongly believe.
There's a question I came into.
Okay, go ahead.
If this is like a tradition or is a sort of culture that is heavily rooted in our society,
yes.
Who can unroot it out? Cummings? Gonglo?
It was good you came to that. Let me tell you, Liberia is corrupt to the bone.
The only two neutral person here that's Jones and myself. So we can't take you guys.
Jones said that thing with straight face.
Mr. Moderator, to be fair with you, here where my worries come in.
What's this to say?
Liberia is corrupt to the bone. Any leader coming, whether Gongolo, whether Kumi, it's going to be a real fight on this type of thing. If you don't even take down the poor, want to kill you if you want to remove corruption from the system. I'm telling you this.
Can come in
So
first.
the only guarantee here is we might try to, a government might try to minimize it. I think that can happen.
So let me ask you a bullet question here. Let's have a look at Chairman Brian TV, EO-TV context here. Can come and fight corruption? Yes or no?
Will try. All of them will try.
You working faster.
Will not be conclusive.
You saw Bunny Rabbit when
No. But moderator, that depends on what do we really define as corruption in Liberia. Because somebody will come from in a village and bring you a better goat for employing his son, and you will receive that better goat. Here is a problem.
Is it Mr. Mallet? Mr. Mallet just drew the whole Bill Clinton impeachment stuff. You know, Bill Clinton spent almost 3 hours defining is the word IS. It depends on what the definition of is.
And they got a parable. The parable is that where you tie better goat, that where better goat can eat. You know what it means? You employ the man in finance ministry. The man got to eat there. So the question now is, what is corruption in Liberia? Before you even start fighting it.
So let's create a purpose fuse here. Sissy and you say Tiawan can do it. I don't know whether we get a record we can prove on that. And Amos George is saying Comey can do it. Well, Comey, we can still have some little question here. But Joyce will say we must wait for the police investigation. I don't know whether that investigation is still going. It's serious, because when people can't discipline and they can't hold their own responsible, at a certain point we want to trust the police. At a certain point, we do not confide in the police. So let's do a little bit game here. Cummings, Tiawan Gonglo, who can fight corruption conclusively?
I don't know what you mean conclusively.
Excuse me, moderator.
People to be held accountable. It's not like I'm talking about when you are accused. There must be a follow-up, not just only accused. People should also be given the opportunity to go to court. And if they went to court, on the outcome of the court, whatever the date, it shouldn't just say, oh, because this person, no one should be above the law. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Mr. Comey has spoken on this issue many times.
What is it?
If he's president, he will make sure the rule of law that is the court is strengthened. And if anybody accused, they will have the day in court. But if they are found guilty, they will not just be sentenced to jail. What property you acquire that you took the reserve from the government, they will seize that property according to the law and sell it, and let the proceeds go to the government, and you will serve your jail time. That has been Mr. Comey's position consistently on that issue. I don't let it go back to this police thing. When you take a case,
what?
Listen, when a police handle a case, you can go to the police and tell them, they say they're investigating. You cannot do more than that. You can't even go to say you will take the police to court. The police has to come up with something. If you are not satisfied, then you go to court. But if the police say they are investigating, you go to the police, they are investigating. What will you do with the police? Here in America, if you have an issue, the police say they are investigating, you wait for the police time. It's just simple. You can go there, they say, even in court cases, people are called. They tell people, hey, we say investigating. So that is the issue. If the police came up,
I had a number here for the longest time. Nobody calls. Let me put a number. Let me put it. Go ahead.
Come up and say, hey, we file the case to court, and the ANC refuse to show up in court, that's a different case. Because when the police come up with a decision, they will never find that the case has been filed to court. It's left for you to go get your lawyer to represent you at the court. That is the procedure.
Okay.
Let's if the case was not given to the police, that's a different issue.
All right. Let's go to the first caller here, 202 number 0.
But you gotta get Sese. You didn't go to Sese to come in because.
Well, don't worry about Sese. You and Sese enough. Don't act like you want to be friend with Sese. Sese coming for you. 202 now. Sese just trying to lower his. his political coalition. Okay, let's go to our first caller. 202 number, are you there?
Yeah, Mr. Soe, how are you? I just want to straighten some misinformation from your panel. This is Kef Hassan on the McGill issue. I'm sitting here. Yeah, I'm sitting here listening to
from the closing argument, right?
Yes, from the closing argument. I just want to correct something.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I know some of our guys do have their own political biasness, but sometimes let's speak the truth. Liberia is a country of laws. The Magnitsky Act is an allegation. It's an allegation, so they should know that, because all the guys on your platform, they're well intelligent, educated guys.
You said the Management Act is an allegation.
I know
that. Hold on, let him end, then we can talk. Yeah, go
ahead. So I know that they're very smart and educated. They should know that. If they don't remember, they can go to the OKFM interview from the U.S. Embassy. They made it clear that it's an allegation. They are not caught. People report and they took action. Matter of fact, the American ambassador said, I think it was in December or so, he said they acted in their own interest. So if no court have proving that McGill and others are guilty, why folks on your network, your panelists, well-intelligent people accusing Mr. McGill with crime?
So
that is wrong. That is wrong.
Okay, Kev, let's have a right for calling here. If you have time here, let's have a little conversation here, and that will help you set the record. So I'm hearing from you say it was allegation. So are you telling us it was based on the allegation the president of, because we argued that case out in as much the American were making that case, I assume there were being internal investigation by the government of the Republic of Liberia, not another government coming and say people do the in as much we wanted to know what was going on. So are you saying it was based on that same allegation the president of the Republic of Liberia let those ministers to go?
Well, the president never let the ministers to go. He never fired them. He never. They were suspended, and Mr. McGill resigned.
For what?
They resigned on their own. They resigned on their own.
Was there any reason that led to their resignation, Kev? Why they've been working, they've been doing their
according
job.
According to their resignation letter, they said they don't want to be a distraction. That's all. That's what they said. They don't want to be a distraction based on those allegations.
Mr. Soe, can I ask a clarity?
They resigned. So for folks to
Let you finish your point.
No, I just want you to. Sorry, Kev, for cutting you off. This is Cesar Goya. How you doing, Chief?
Oh, the guy who was checking my.
He can reply on me. Remember, different conversation there. Let me ask the other question here. I'm trying to understand the point you're trying to make about the accusation, and correct me if I'm wrong. Is the point you're trying to make? Because I'm trying to understand that the point you're trying to make when you say it's an accusation was about whether Nathaniel McGill should be allowed to run, or whether somebody should go to the Supreme Court because he's now a criminal. And your point is that it is an allegation in that he has not been found guilty by a Liberian court. Therefore, he is not a criminal in the eyes of the Liberian law. Is that what you're trying? Is that what you're trying to say when you say it's an accusation?
Well, Well, go back to your own constitution. I stand to be corrected. I think it's Article 2. It will tell you clearly. First of all, Maggie has not committed any crime in Liberia. No crime, no law, nothing. So NEC can never, ever stop him. Nobody, no Supreme Court, nowhere, no law can stop him. No law. You gotta get that clear. We gotta let our people know, because
Right, Kev. So that's the question.
Because of our political biasness, we will tend to feed red meat to our people, and our children go out there with wrong idea.
Right. So Kev. So my question is, I think that's the answer you're giving me. So my question is, I think when you came on to say that Nathaniel McGill, that the Magnitsky Act is an allegation, is the point you're trying to make is that according to Liberian law, Nathaniel McGill has not gone to court. He has not been found guilty of violating any laws in Liberia. Therefore, the Magnitsky Act, his sanction, is an allegation because he has not been found guilty in Liberian court. That's the point you're making, right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kev, I think we need to be very sincere to ourselves. If you want to do a survey in Liberia right now, with the level of understanding the people have about how Magay and the rest of the cohort left office, they did not leave office just voluntarily. They left office because of the news, of the cloud of news hanging over Liberia, and the president was even under pressure. Let's be very sincere here. You go do survey in Liberia now, the people will tell you, say, Magay, they were all removed from power because of corruption. That is the understanding you will get from the people in Liberia. Let's be very sincere here.
Okay.
No amount of allegation is going to remove anybody from office. No amount of allegation can remove anybody from office. All right. Secondly, the executive branch of government, through its spokesperson, the information minister, had not today as we speak, addressed that particular issue. People just left unceremoniously. So with our level of understanding in Liberia, our conclusion here is that these people were stigmatized by Uncle Sam, and they were forced to be booted out quietly by His Excellency President Weah. That's the understanding you're going to get from Liberia if you carry on a survey right now.
If I could just ask one question.
Let him respond so we can.
Mayor invite Kev. Let Kev come on to be panelist. I'm making a mental just for one thing, but
let me respond to, I think, Mr. Miller, right?
Mali.
Yeah, Mali. So let me respond. You see, when you run your government, you don't run a government. I think you know that because you're very. You don't run your government on what the people say on the street. You
I
run
agree with you.
Under the law. You cannot run the government and say, okay, because people saying something on the street, then you do. Then you're going to run a gangster government. It don't run like that. You run a government that should be run by the rule, the law. So if the Supreme Court or any other court did not found Minister McGill guilty of any crime, no way, nobody in Liberia can stop Minister McGill. That is right. As a Liberian citizen, nobody. Remember Vani Sherman, he's still there in the Senate. He's still there. No noise. Prince Johnson, no noise. Why Minister McGill? Every time they talk about Magnitsky Act, let me draw you guys' attention to something. When the Magnitsky Act fall on the you guys can hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah.
Listening.
When the Magnitsky Act came down on Serena Seaford, the African Bar Association in Egypt, they condemn the situation, but you know what they say at the end? When you bring us the facts and evidence, the full evidence, then we can disbar him. But for now, we don't have no evidence. So if you see that Serena Seaforth is still part of the African Bar Association, he's still part of the European Bar Association. Are we saying those people don't have sense too? Well, he's still anybody. So why Serena Seaforth, the European Bar Association did not disbar him? Why the African Bar Association office in Egypt, they do nothing? You guys have to look to that. Those people are sensible.
Right. But well, one quick question though. Didn't Minister McGill and the Solicitor General say they are going to fight this case and they are going to go to court? So isn't there some way? I know it's not the way the law works, but when you are somebody this big and this you know, of the stature of Minister McGill, wouldn't there be a good thing for them to go out and try to make sure that they clear the name and even maybe sue the CDC government for trying to push them into resigning their position based on the accusation?
Okay, but look, the CDC government did not, and I repeat, did not push Mr. McGill and the rest of them to resign. They resign on their own. Go and read the resignation.
Okay, let me just ask you.
Let me finish. They resign on their own. The government did not bring any allegation or accuse them for anything. They cannot sue. The only place they can ask and sue is in America. They banned them for coming to America, so they cannot come here. They cannot come here.
But the lawyers can come here, though.
No crime.
The lawyers can come here.
Let me ask you.
On their own. For their
Let me just ask you this one question. This is Amos George, Pat George. So what you are explaining here, tell us, because I remember when Mr. Malley was speaking, he said allegation. So tell us, what statement I would say that's misleading? That pointed to come to court that we were misinformed the Liberian people.
Yeah, good question. Good question. What you're feeding to the people that they should not run. He should not run. While McGill should run. Only in Liberia, those kind of rhetoric.
But you don't think it's somebody right? No, you don't think it's somebody right to say that somebody should not run? You don't think it's somebody basic fundamental right under the Constitution? Freedom of speech?
No, listen. You guys do have a reputable platform. So I think you owe that to the people to tell them the truth. You can say
the man just said the truth. It's based on the allegation.
But if you're on a platform, you should not. A reputable platform. I follow Mr. Soe. He well balanced.
We fought that in campaign today.
Yeah, you cannot be on the platform and send red meat.
Who brought it to us? We came because hoing, and he promised to come.
Kev has signed. It is the right of any Liberian or any panelist.
Let's do it this way here.
That's
for us, we like to create a fairness. Hopefully, you remember I extended you an invitation before, right? And
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hopefully, you will still answer that. But we are the little time, and we are now hijacking.
Mr. Moderator, before the big man leave, I just want to say here that sometimes there's a very staunch price to pay when you are a loyalist. Sometimes it's like Jesus and Peter. Sometimes you got to put your neck on the chopping board. But what we are saying here, you know the level of our people understanding in Liberia. You know it, all right? What you expressing there, I agree with you. You coming from the technical point. But Liberia, we don't understand that technical point, oh man. Yes.
Which
and secondly, if I resign because the noise is in my house, our level of understanding is Liberia. We resign because the noise in the house.
Not only Liberia, Mr. Malley, everywhere in the world.
No.
Okay. I agree what you're saying because it's like you're trying to say we are giving information and people are listening. I agree. But the fact of the matter here is that people mind are poisoning in Liberia. Up to now, the executive government, the executive branch of government through the information minister, my question to you now is, why they have not come out to clarify some of the technical aspect you introducing here? Why? Why are they type late?
Yeah. So
Let me answer that, Mr. So let me answer that.
I have a question here.
Ledger who Rennie made that clear so many times. People sometimes choose to listen what they want to hear. But again, it's your place. It's your place too to educate the people, because you're aware of the technical side. You're like I say, I keep saying it. You guys are well educated people on our platform. I listen to you guys. So it's your place. It's upon all Liberians. What happened 1989 Christmas Eve? It's upon us for those things to not happen again. So we have to feed our people the right thing. Let's tell them. It's upon every Liberian. Put your biases aside. Put everything. But it's on everybody. Every Liberian need to educate our people, because if we don't do that, we're sending the wrong message. You see, some people go now and say, "Oh, why Maggie is running? Why Maggie is running?" But if they know that Maggie can run, there is no crime on Maggie, then we would not be saying that. But Maggie can run.
But there's an allegation. There's a difference between crime and allegation.
Come 1 second. I hate to go into hypothetical, but this is something that really need conversation. I do not agree with somebody going to do survey. You're never going to get anything to survey. Who do correction? Who do that? That is completely that my view. But from all what is the antecedents of this whole resignations of Minister Mangi? And let's assume Uncle Sen comes back here again today with another Magnitsky Act, made another allegations about 3, 4, 5 ministers of government. We found on here, what was the government of Liberia own information obtained from Uncle Sen as a sovereign nation that warrant that even the president can either, there are 2 choices based on what comes out, and not to be distraction, being in the close proximity of the president can say, you know what, you need to go. We have seen this here. But was there any information? You get their ears. I mean, it's a fact. Was there any information obtained from Uncle Sen with this here? And if Uncle Sen were to come out, as you said in your word, not to be a distraction, another 3, 4 ministers or senior government officials were bumped again, would they voluntarily resign? Is that a good thing?
Let me say this. I said that on the air, and I'll challenge the U.S. embassy. I challenge the ambassador that they can prove me wrong. No single one letter ain't come from the embassy, the American, to say this is the fact. This is what we got.
They didn't receive anything.
Nothing.
The government did
Zero.
not get anything.
I can confirm it 1,000,000% on your show.
But wait, why would Kev be the one to be the authority and not Musa Dean, who is the Minister of Justice or the presidential press secretary?
So since we don't have the justice minister, then who knows? We can follow.
Yes. But there's no authority there, though. That would just be somebody speaking without authority.
I can tell you this 100% that I know for fact.
Yeah, that is not sufficient. You are not a spokesperson of the government. That is not sufficient enough for anybody for me to buy your work. So, let me be upfront.
So where are you obtaining this? Where are you obtaining this information?
Mr. So, you can go back to some of my tape. Mariah Yakula, I had that debate, and I challenged the embassy on air, and I said that more than how many times.
So let me ask
you. Yes, in your understanding as a private citizen, the embassy will respond to you quicker than they respond to Musa Dean asking for evidence. Do you really think that?
Mr. So, let me give you one thing. Let's look at the what the sanction might give for. One of the line in that Magnitsky sanction, what it said, McGill is he he kind of dealing with warlord.
But you just said there was no document. Then how you got that information?
No, listen, what I say, let me say what I say. The charges, that's what I'm trying to talk. The charges, some of the charges on McGill.
So
I gotta go, family. I got an errand to run. Kev will connect on the other side, my man. I know you want to talk about the other thing there, but I gotta run. Sorry, Chi.
I hopefully I will find time for you. But before I let you go, hold on, come here.
Mr. Moderator, when you listen to the just shortly.
Let me just before we're already out of time. Before we let you go, Kev, these information you are providing, are they coming from the government of the Republic of Liberia, or those are information obtained by yourself?
What I'm saying to you that I can confirm to you, but what I know through my proximity, no, nothing the government gets.
So then is it a government to run the country?
Sure.
So
yeah, okay, but you see, Mr. So I'm not the official spokesman.
That's what I'm asking.
So I cannot tell you that this from the government. I'm telling you based on my proximity and what I know. So I give it to you. What I know, nothing, zero. I said it on Spoon so many times, nothing.
So Mr. Moderator, please listen to this. Please listen to the brief statement from Front Page Africa. It said, less than 24 hours after the United States Treasury Department slapped sanction on 3 members of George Weah-led government, the Liberian president has suspended his most trusted ally and Minister of State Nathaniel McGill Twawele and the National Port Authority Solicitor General Sema Serena Cephas. Okay,
guys.
If they put sanction on these people, the question is why? Then why the president had to come out simultaneously to suspend these guys? Why?
Kev, can you do me a favor?
Yes, sir.
For me, I do not like to how you call this be judgmental without having people in a day. I know I have his number. I'm not.
I would appreciate a care can come right back. I would really appreciate that.
No, besides Kev, the different thing I'm requesting for now, I have the Honorable Minister number. It being a while, I'm not sure whether he's still on that number. It's important. He's contesting for a very high position, high profile positions at the first branch of government. Is it possible, because I know you are connected with them, that we can have some of the critical conversation to put it to a rest? Is that any way that you can get in conveying so we can have a conversation with him here?
What, Minister McGill?
Yes, I mean, and we will look at his bid for the Senate. We can look at his senatorial bid and talk about some other critical issues.
Mr. McGill, at this time, that I can tell you, he's not doing any media round. He will do media round very soon, but not now. He's not doing media. He's not doing media rounds. I know that.
When the time comes, will you help us to see whether we can have him? Definitely got to do it at some point in time.
I can make that promise. Yeah, so we'll see what on his table, but now he's not making media rounds.
Okay,
you know,
right.
But he will, but not now.
Okay, so I hope when anybody should not be accused. I frown on that. I don't want people be accused without having their court, having their time in there, and then people resign. Right. That's a concern for me.
Let me make one quick correction for Mr. Amos George. It's about nuclear. Yeah, nuclear is there, but remember, nuclear is supporting the president, and most of the people who supported McGill will vote for the president. And McGill, and the sedition, he's still there. So nuclear he still announced that he will support the president.
You seem to have a lot of information. Is he still enjoying the government of Liberia protection?
Oh yes, I got that. I saw that statement.
Let me ask him. Maybe you, Kev.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of information. Is Minister McGill, former Minister McGill, is he still enjoying the government of Liberia protection, security? People hearing on payroll, those are things that he needs to explain for himself.
Mr. So You expect me to talk about Mr. Mage's security details on the show? No, I cannot do that. I cannot talk about Mr. Mage's security details. No.
Meaning you still enjoy the security protection. So that's
I cannot. I cannot speak.
Okay.
On
Mr. Moderator,
I cannot.
you see the question you just brought to the big man?
Okay,
let me tell him right now, there is the rumor moving all over Liberia right now that Mr. Mage is still active on payroll and he have his security details still with him. The only difference here is that he not behind his decks. These are all allegations, and in Liberia, some allegations can really be true.
Well, okay, Kevin, man, thank you so much. Hopefully, you can find time.
I hope Kev will come back so we can straighten up the Manaski thing.
I would like to have him myself so that we can put this thing. I like to hear from the house's mouth directly, So, but I thank you so much for chipping in this evening. How is the closing argument?
Yeah, we started. We honored. We're having a great review around, but the election time, everybody should come on and come and do your closing argument. That's why we built that.
I like that.
Your closing argument.
All right, Kevin, man. Thank you so much for jumping in here this afternoon. We appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Well, guys, and to our many folks, I mean, that's the beauty of the network. I think all of us must be held accountable. It's good to have people on record. I cannot be definitive here to say this is what happening. I hope one of these days, Minister Magee, I remember when I was going to Liberia, I called him what I could sit with the president. He asked me what I want to say with the president. So I said, but Minister, give me the opportunity. Then we can do that. We can draw on the agenda, fair to mention. And we can work out the technical detail, but that didn't happen. But the man with a color skin guy called, and they honor that. But I think if people unveil themselves, it will put to rest these apprehensions and all of that. And I know everybody have their own sort of supporters, and they will defend them. They can be the fixer. We saw what his name said, Michael Cohen, and he went to jail here for, he's the one that was doing the damage control for Donald Trump. At the end of the day, it happened. But I would really want to thank you so much. Guys, what's your, we are already out of time.
Let me just say this quick
message.
An allegation, it is not a crime. It is a claim or assertion made against somebody. A crime is the omission of a crime that can lead to prosecution. So those are two different things. When we say allegation, it doesn't mean that person is guilty.
Right.
So people have to understand these words. Okay? They have to understand it. When we say allege, when you say Nathan Magee was guilty, it is a claim, an assertion made against somebody. But that has to be proven in court, right or wrong. And it's also a crime, it's an omission that constitutes a crime. So those are different things people have to understand. So when I hear people what we're seeing here, or somebody say for alleged being suspended for that, it doesn't mean he's guilty. Based on that, none of his arrest can be taken from him. But in other words, if somebody accused me, I also have the right to go to court to come and ask them to prove what they made against me. But in the political world, it's something different.
Thank you so much. Malice, what's a closing word? Closing remark?
Yeah, my closing word here is a statement. It says the U.S. Treasury Department imposed sanction on the Liberian official on Monday for their alleged involvement in ongoing public corruption in Liberia and the Lester Auto era. You see? So anyway, that will be an ongoing thing. But my closing argument here is this. I'm sorry, sisters left, but Pajo is here. The corruption thing. I feel strongly before corruption work in Liberia, the Anti-Corruption Commission should be autonomous. It should be removed from under the executive branch of government. 2, the judges, the judiciary should be reformed. They should remove 50% of them from position and bring new blood in. 3, Liberia, we say Liberia is a country of law. I challenge that strongly because it's not reflected in how Liberia is being run. Thank you.
All right, guys.
And that's what Mr. Kwame has said. The judiciary need to be reformed.
All of you for your time and conversation here this evening, as usual, for your commitment to this network and society. George, thank you so much and have a pleasant weekend. And when is it? Is it 13, right?
Yeah.
Where is that? Is that in Moserado or Grand Bassa County?
I have to call someone to authenticate the date. I don't know.
You really used to there. I don't know business here now.
No, but Mr. So if it is the 13th, and I don't have the correct,
okay. I want to send a message to
or it's in Nima. Then they go to Basel, or it's in Basel instead of Nima. People will say,
do you think
George? Do you think I'm sorry that we're closing. The manner in which Kumi wants to solve corruption, he will be adding to more corruption. You can't get corrupt judges stay in place.
He said reform. Reform.
Yeah, what reform? We remove the people. Reform. How the reform going to come about?
How reform come about? You can move people.
No. Be specific.
Oh.
Yeah. What kind of reform? We've been hearing that language. We've been hearing that language many times.
Jones, are you saying by removing people that are in authority that will help to fix the problem?
No, you got to look for competent people.
Moderator, if you go that direction there, corruption not going to go nowhere.
Jones,
that entire code is corrupt. Remove these people. Be clear with the language.
No, Jones.
Remove all of them and replace them by other three judges.
And what next?
If you move everybody, you can use as reform.
Oh, then you enforce the law. You can't enforce the law when you see all corrupt people.
The loopholes, those systems that are not working right, things that are not enforcing. That way,
remove these people. They've been there for record age. They corrupt. The reform will not work with them.
If that is the case,
all right, thank you so much. Pa George, now put a face care so we're done for the night. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Good night.
All right. Bye bye. Okay, guys. We want to thank you so much for your time. I think it was Stevens, Mr. Sly, say, I think what his comment. Trust me, Steven. The only person number I get, the president says some kind of number. But trust me, we have reached out, if not all, government officials, elected officials, people. But I mean, our job is to extend them an invitation. And it is their will, it is their right to accept or deny. But I can vehemently tell you, we have reached out to most of them. What is the problem is, because the country is so polarized, it's so divided. And every politician, even here, there are certain places they feel comfortable of going to in order to get their message. Why you think that people will not want to bring them here? But trust me, when we invite them, when you talk to them, they accept behind closed door. Literally, they to the interview time, or Mr. Soe, because of engagement, we can, because they have their ears eaters. They do not want to answer tough questions. They do not want to put themselves into situations that probably could jeopardize, especially those that are contesting, or that will be a problem. I know folks at the Ministry of Information. We go there. Ledger will, even the Fagon who was there when he was deputy and all of that. When you call them, they say, okay, we will let you know. So it is. And you can attest to that most of these people, why are they going to certain network they want to go to? Because they want people to fill them with questions instead of having an outline to having a genuine conversation. So people always want to be secure, and it's everywhere. There are certain officials in government here, you will never see them on Fox News. There are certain people here, you will never see them on CNN. I mean, it is it. The media industry now is polarized and it is politically charged. And so everybody tries to walk the fine line. So we try to do the best we can do here. Can you invite the justice minister? Oh yeah, I spoke with the justice minister, and I even went to Liberia, met the justice minister. I think the three boys, Princess Cooper, and list goes on. Or to call the justice, he say, okay, at the appropriate time we speak. Not to mention Patrick Sulu, Moses Carter. I mean, all we have reached out to those people. But again, people feel comfortable to go certain places to channel their message. Our job is to reach out to them, and they are at liberty to accept or reject. And so when they decide to go on that route, then it's nothing. But I can tell you, we always reach out to them, even to people that are contesting right now. And that's the problem. Everybody, electorates, followers, citizens, hosts, commentators, everybody protect their own alligator. And so when you ask them questions, they reference the past. It was done last year, 2 years ago, so why now? This sort of visual cycle, this sort of visual happenings is consistent. So it makes some of us have this apprehension as to what is changed and what sort of change is coming, because everybody protect their own. Liberian politicians are unwilling to take a political risk, unlike the Westerners. Anybody say anything here, they give it justifications of their saying. They would not take responsibility of any of their supporters saying something that is ridiculous or something that doesn't make sense or something that is just not a human, because they do not want to take a political risk and they are unable to do that. That's the problem. That's the challenge. And guess what? The supporters help to facilitate the behaviors of these people. Seditions protect seditions at all costs. Unity partisans protect unity partisans at all costs. ANC defend ANC to the ballot button. LPP does the same way. How many of us, even when we support this person, and the person is not making an informed decision, or when the person is saying something that is not in the interest of the country, let's put it that way. How many of us raise their fingers to say, yes, I support you, but this decision here, I do not? We justify every action by those people because we simply, so it's not an unusual thing to me. When somebody is defending and somebody is being politically correct, it is not unusual, because I've seen this over and repeatedly. How many of the parties denounce? Very few that they will denounce their own colleagues of saying certain things that they're not supposed to say. We back them. So it's equally proportional to the other people. Just how you back their people, their supporters going to also back them, whether it's wrong or right. And I think we need to take a holistic approach to the national conversation for the good of the country. So the question becomes, in the country, is it the president? Are we the one having the issue? Where is this problem coming from? Do people put the interest of their party first or the interest of the country? Where is it coming from? You saw the late Senator John McCain. He was in a dying bed, and he went to Capitol Hill, and he did like this. That was in the interest of the country and his constituents that he represented. It was not for the Republicans. You saw Liz Cheney. You saw Adam Kinzinger of Illinois. Some of those people, they believe in the constitutions of their country. How many of our people, how many of our politicians will rise up against their party? Liz Cheney took the political risk, knowing what she was doing. Her position did not go with the party's ideology, but in her own conscience and believing in the constitutions of this land for the good of the people of America. They took that political gamble. And what happens? They pay the political price. They are now on Capitol Hill today. They were voted out. How many of you or how many of us can do that? No. Each and every one is protective of their own alligator. So that's the problem. People are unwilling to pay a political price. You saw John McCain, ordinary citizen, during his rally, was making a similar comments that wasn't right, that doesn't represent his political agenda. He went and took that microphone. He said, this is not what this campaign is all about. But when we see people insulting people and people cheer and clap for them and celebrate them, what kind of country, what kind of people are we? Who does that? In what civilized society? Do you think when you do those kind of things, who would take you serious to have a national conversation that you will go sit down with diplomat or business people? They see that, they look at us as funny. Who in their common mind would do that, that you can't even put your argument together? When last you saw a strong supporter or a top insider? I'm waiting one of these days to see Sir Joseph and Darius Dillon, maybe Akaras Gray, and who else from the other side, to have a lunch together. An argument, make their case, share their notes, their political agenda. Most of them, they are all members of subcommittees in both houses. Who can convince their friend to say, oh, this is what I have for my district. This is what for the county. You have lawmakers, people from the same county, they don't talk to one, they don't speak, they don't talk. Suffers it. The county suffers it. The citizens, everything is paralyzed. It's all about themselves. And they believe in the philosophies or the ideologies of the party so much and not the country. Because maybe it is through the party. Until we can begin to touch these critical issues, yes, the ideology of the party or the institutions you represent is there. But ultimately, when you are elected, you're not an appointee. It is not the president. The president can't dismiss you. So if you have 4 or 5 members from different political institutions representing the county, you've got to sit as a people, as a nation, and put your agenda. See what is applicable. You sit around the conference. That's why the civil men call round conference. You sit around the table. Share note. Bring your argument. Let he or she bring her argument and have the conversation. But we have been heavily distracted with 150 some more days. Very few people agenda visible. Very few people that found themselves to make themselves available on certain news outlets because they want to have peanut butter and jelly. No policy questions is being asked. No domestic questions is being asked. They can't tell us as to how much they're going to invest into education, agriculture, infrastructure. I am not a believer of a big spending. They're not going to tell us how they're going to downsize government. They're not telling us all of these hundreds of people that are supporting and chanting for them. What's going to be the political price? You think those people going in the sun all day for nothing? Of course. They want to go to LPR-TV. They want to be, if they got elected, they want to go to city corporation as well. They want to be like Carrasco. When the president traveling, then they use, how they call something and say, and then the press secretary who is supposed to be there to take note, to provide briefing, nothing is happening. But guess what? When they get there tomorrow and they start to do the same thing, and people will begin to frown on this, they will reference us in the past. It was happening yesterday. You didn't talk. We are saying it now. And we want you to help to drive this here. He who rides the back of the alligator subsequently goes into the belly of the alligator. Because you are not asking these questions, you support because of resentments, because of bitterness, because of the divisive politics in the country. And then tomorrow you're going to come back here tomorrow and start telling us, knowing what you know. You knew it, but on purpose, you did not ask the questions, and that was calculative. Well, folks, we want to thank you so much. That's how we're going to bring the event to a closure. This is the building that has been heavily contested by men, women, those who are seeking the higher office of the land. All we want, people who have specific agenda, vision for the country. We all put the interests of the country first. The countries, there are little resources that everybody should have, a portion everybody should have a share. I heard to the Moserado County District number 17, about 50 some more person contesting. What is the vision? What is the platform of these people? What are they bringing? Or is it because when they go there too, they're going to be having their own 35K or whatever? And one of the citizens was telling me that one of the guys, they were asking, he said, yeah, the guy said he paid for their vote. So I said, did he pay for their vote? He said, yeah. He said, yeah. So that's what happens. When you sell your birthright, the price you pay is heavier than what you receive. So we are in the process about to empower people. They're going to be our Anthony. They're going to be making decisions for us. So we're going to be giving them authority. When they go there, then nobody's going to resign. I don't care whatever accusations or whatever. I don't know. Unless death, we don't want our leaders to die. That's not the proclamation I'm going to be making here. But how many of them that have come out publicly to even apologize if there was something done wrongly to the people? Even the president, Helen Johnson Sirleaf, after the breakdown of Nokar, Ibrahim award $5 million given to her. Was the government of Liberia compensated? Was that money paid back the 2 point some more from Nokar? Nothing. Endless investigations. People are not being held accountable. So some of us are very apprehensive when it comes to people telling us it shouldn't be cosmetic. It shouldn't just be on the surface. We want these actions to be perfected in the very institutions they are. They have their surrogates. They say ridiculous things. They say things about other people. They do not have the balls to come out to say, that statement does not in any way represent my campaign or my political ideology. People will go on outlets and they will defend the positions of their surrogates or candidates at all cost to the detriment of the country. And I want us to take it serious. We will have to discuss this issue. We do invite these people then at all times. But when it comes, you know, we're going to have a genuine conversation. In the interest of fairness, we now want to adjudicate people without giving them the opportunity. But we'll have this open conversation, perhaps that will provoke them to come. I would love, not just only Maggie, other people, to all sides, everybody should be liable to answer some questions, especially when you're contesting or seeking for high-profile positions. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening. And by God's willing, we'll be back here in the coming days. Tomorrow, the Liberal Progressive going to be here. Until then, have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye. What if we are in the borough of Philadelphia? The Gonglo team going to be having a dinner May 13, 2023. Dinner banquet. That's the information there. We're going to be having a team here. We'll be having a conversation here with them. A group calling itself Seeker Community USA will be having a convention in Philadelphia as well. On June 8th to the 11th. All of that. LPR is being tapped to also bring coverage as well. If this is your first time on this network, we want to say thank you so much. Follow us subscribe so that you will get a like. We always welcome your suggestions, your comments. Will go back. Your comment help us a lot into our national conversations. Whether you agree or disagree with us, you have the right to air, as long as it's done in a safer context. Before we go, we say happy pre-holiday to all our mothers, and especially those of you here, mothers, sisters on this Liberia Public Radio, and all mothers across the country. We say happy Mother's Day. Thank you so much for your time. On behalf of the analysts of the Liberia Public Radio, if you want to be part of this team as well, let us know. The only thing we're not getting money, we're not paying anybody. So just let us know, and we can make your voices heard here. Again, all comments, tweets, statement here does not in any way represent the management and staff of the Liberia Public Radio, but we do have to facilitate this hardcore conversation. Hey, Alexander Dawson, thank you so much for your time this evening, and all of you people. Subscribe with our network. Follow us on Liberia Public Radio. Have a pleasant Sunday evening, and be safe. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. I just wanna